Fortress of Freedom, the Thug Shaker Central, the Octagon. All of these names are synonymous with the famous architectural precedent known as the Pentagon. It has 5 sides, maybe more. One brave citizen may have uncovered all the secrets behind this mysterious shape. More tonight at 7. Would you like to know more? Would you like to know more? The Pentagon was designed to maximize functionality while adhering to the scope objectively set by the government of the US during World War II. The construction of the Pentagon began September 11, 1941. Many design and construction choices were made to make the building as cost, time, and material efficient, planning every design instruction with precision. Notable design choices include the choice to maximize office space, being the world's largest office building in the world for 80 years until recently dethroned. This objective was also considered as the exterior wall surface was required to be minimized for defense-related matters. Throughout history, Pentagons have been a popular choice for many fortresses as their inherent geometry provides the best angles to shoot along each wall. The concentric ring structure provides efficiency as each section of the Pentagon, labeled A through E, is connected through corridors, with an additional courtyard at the center of it all named Ground Zero, which is kind of creepy. The nickname was given as it would be the first meeting point for all secret VIPs in the event of a nuclear fallout. Also, a hot dog stand apparently feasted the Soviet missile's eyes. Freaky. The Pentagon facilitates its spaces mainly for offices, as mentioned previously. Other facilities may include conference rooms, support facilities, food and shopping vendors, dry cleaners, and bank facilities. The offices inside provide for the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, as well as the National and Coast Guards, so it's easy to see why this was a priority. The heads of these branches, including most 4-star generals, are at work here, protecting and expanding on the US's most classified documents, and even UFO videos. A hierarchical arrangement is set based on rank and function to tell everyone who's boss. Those in higher ranks are positioned closest to the courtyard and expand outwards like so. Movement is efficient within the building, as circulation and accessibility make sure travel is optimized, within and outside the building, with extensive systems and networks listed. This is so effective that you can walk between any 2 points in less than 10 minutes. This goes with its own boundaries, of course, as many areas within the Pentagon have even tighter security, allowing only those with the highest clearance. That's also without mentioning the obvious restrictions from the public. The Pentagon is undoubtedly an icon in the overarching field of architecture, gaining recognition as the most defended building in the US, especially when considering its history. The Pentagon has been the target and base of operations in the event of protests, the Cold War, and the subsequent 9/11 that took place exactly 60 years after construction. The geometry, spatiality, materials, security, artwork, interior, functions, basically every design choice forms this facade of the American base of operations of the government, creating this glorious character that imposes the view of the structure and the rest of the world as a statement. These design choices make the Pentagon very recognizable, a symbol of the American prestige, pride, and more. Now, before dissecting this building apart like Project Phoenix, it should be important to know why exactly I'm doing this, and based on what logic. So let's break it down. At this point, these concepts are still being worked on and are very premature, so please bear with me. First of all, one of my strongest beliefs in architecture is that we should aim to appeal to a large audience. Obviously not counting niches because we all need those, but generally and at the very minimum, architecture should be respective towards the definite worldwide subjectivity, sensitivity, and interpretation. I believe this, and all buildings should be built in the same vein. Despite the Pentagon's overt security and exclusivity from the public, the building still stands as a symbol for the entirety of the United States and a statement to the world. Therefore, I believe that it just had no such concern of inclusivity. Partially. To me, this building symbolizes the plain ignorance of specific American folks in different views of diversity within the states. I will not mention the specific people in this draft, or ever, but you get the gist. This symbol is recognized throughout numerous historical events in which the Pentagon was the focal point of both public and international interventions. This theme will also be explored through many different mediums, not just history. A lot of what I'm saying may seem apathetic, but I promise this will make more sense soon as I present my actual analysis. Now, for my most controversial opinion, for what I believe to be the most misunderstood and misinterpreted concepts in all of architecture. Form versus function, art versus science, irrationality versus rationality. Whatever you call it, I have a few bones to pick with this idea. To be frank, I think the Pentagon actually interprets these specific concepts perfectly, that being that within the design process and performance as of present, there are internal conflicts that eliminate any chances of the rejuvenation of most motives the federal government keeps alluding to, at least the honorable and honest ones. To me, this symbol just represents a patent dogma and bias towards a functional or rational society. Inevitably, society's retaliations are heard, but not considered. We will get to all this very soon, guys, just hang in there. In a less political way, I'm only saying that I think the design is hideous and ignorant. It's still vacuous, leaving it with no redeeming qualities. Architecturally speaking, that is. I believe that there wasn't much, if any, care about aesthetics, as well as the fact that there could have been better alternatives for most, or even all, rationalist design choices, including renovations, extensions, and innovations. I'm really promising quite a lot here, some of which I will probably not have enough time to cover and then edit. However, it's all a lot simpler and definitely a lot more common than you might think. But before I blue ball you all, I'll at least give you a brief of what I'm using as my research analysis before determining the critical theory of this assessment. The following will be the main areas of research: architectural and interior design. I feel like this is probably the most important subject that I should focus on, given the nature of this assignment and my interests. Yet this area seems quite barren in comparison when considering the building itself. Regardless, my architectural criticism will focus on 3 general design philosophies: aesthetics, ethics, and space. I will attempt to deconstruct each of these aspects in a way that's fair and logical. I am, of course, open to further criticism. Please. Engineering and technology acknowledgements. This section, I will try my best to be primarily objective in my argument, as my argument lies in quite subjective reasoning of notions in philosophy, that being epistemology, ethics, and existentialism. I apologize for using so many big words. I'm not sure if I pronounced them right, but I would recommend any architect enthusiast, design enthusiast, or literally anything else, that they understand basic design philosophy, as this will help a lot. This will help a lot. Historical, cultural, social, and economic context. This is probably the most obvious area of research for a building like this, yet I refuse to express my entire revisionist evaluation in these contexts. Yes, the analysis and these theories all apply to architecture, but instead I will state these contexts to authenticate my theory like in a retrospective way. Retrospectively, I guess I'll give you guys an outline of my theory. It covers a few basic branches in design philosophy, such as aesthetics, epistemology, ethics, logic. I guess this depends on your perspective, but most importantly, metaphysics. Yeah, apologies that this is not, the video is incomplete, it's not very comprehensive, and it's probably mostly my face. Make sure you pre-order Brand, which has the link in the description. Free Young Thug, Why Self for Life. Please help me out, guys. I'm currently being held hostage.